This is the Global Podcast Network, where executives and professionals connect, share, and inspire. Stay tuned for the conversations that drive success.
And welcome back, everybody. And we're off the beginning of the holiday season, which is all good. It's a lot of fun sometimes. There's joy and excitement, but there's also potentially some challenge there when you're dealing with relatives, sometimes friends that you didn't have the same connection to previously. Things come up, got to anticipate, Uncle Vinny's coming over, a couple of glasses of wine. There it begins, the politics, and then maybe that doesn't align with you. How do you deal with that? But more importantly, how does that put a challenge on your relationship with your partner and eventually the physical part of your relationship, how it challenges that? It's all kind of connected. She is the owner of the Center for Relational Wellness. Yes, relationships. And that also, as we said, trickles down to the physical aspect, the intimate aspect. She's a sex therapist, and so much to talk about today with Sara Vargas. Once again on the program, how are you doing?
I'm well, thank you. Happy Thanksgiving. Thank you for having me.
Happy Thanksgiving and welcome back. And anybody who says, "Yeah, my family's perfect. We never have any issues. Everything's great," you are lying. I'm telling you right now, you're not being truthful with anybody else, and especially yourself, if that's what you believe. It's just human nature. There's issues everywhere. I don't mean that in a negative way, but we all got stuff going on in our families, right?
Absolutely. Even the healthiest families have issues, right? Like, so if somebody says to me, everything's great, everything's perfect, that's hard to really understand where that's coming from at first, right? Because I think sometimes folks like to put the issues to the side and pretend that they're not there, which can actually be more problematic in the end.
Hmm. And also, when you don't talk about them, it makes them worse. And swinging it back to the intimate side, when that
Yep.
starts, and then there's a span of time with no intimacy, it just gets worse. It just,
Sure
yeah,
does.
that's my opinion, but like it from, coming from you, because now it gets even more awkward. Time has gone by. Let's say, you got together once a week. Now it's 3 weeks. Now it's 3 months. And going back there, the animosity just grows. That's what I'm saying.
For sure. And it ends up feeling like if you haven't been having sex with your partner in a long period of time, trying to get back to that feels really scary because now it feels like you're getting to know each other again. So it almost
Mm.
feels like you're trying to create something with a stranger, right? And then like this time of year, right? If you already have issues in your relationship, things already feel heightened. You throw in all the stuff that comes with the holidays,
Yep.
forget about it, right? Like it's going to make it even harder to connect, right? You're fighting now about whose house you're going to spend the holidays at, how much money you're going to spend, right? Which traditions you're going to keep, those sorts of things, right? Like it's just another layer to the same stuff you've already been struggling with, which is certainly going to push you further away if you're already struggling.
Oh, totally. And then things start
Mhm.
coming up because then there's resentment, things that you may
Mhm.
not have said or even cared about. Now time has gone on in terms of the intimacy and the daggers
Mhm.
come out. It just makes it all
Yep.
even worse. Um,
Yep.
when it's that holiday situation, and let's say you have some challenges with your partner's family, how do you navigate that? I know every situation is different, but what's some rules of thumb, if you will?
Sure. First, the two of you have to talk before you even, decide who you're going to go. So you have to talk about what the expectations are. You have to talk about boundaries, right? Like what's appropriate. How do we talk about our families, right? Like some folks think it's okay to disparage your partner's families. That is not okay, right? Because you're just going to put your partner on the defensive. Nobody wants to hear that stuff about their family, even if they don't love their family,
Yep.
right? Like, so people can get really, really defensive and really protective, understandably, right? So really setting some ground rules in terms of what's respectful, what's appropriate, what's not, and then deciding together, right? Like, what are we going to be okay with in terms of how we handle our families? Are we going to talk about politics or are we going to say no? Are we going to spend this year with, my family or your family? How much money are we going to spend on gifts, right? Like, there's all these things that are really important for the couple to actually address before you start any of these things.
Mm. Back in the day, I used to have a little bit of a challenge with an ex
Uh-huh.
who are we in session now? Who her family, it would be like three things on a weekend. There would be a party or celebration for, hey, somebody got a root canal. We're going over there. We're going to celebrate, blah, blah, blah. And I'd be like, do I have to go again? Like we just last weekend we went there, and that used to be a point of challenge where, and at that time, for many decades, I got up at 3:54 a.m. every day for a radio job. So I'd be like, I just want to be home, like just chill for a little bit. So
Mm.
there had to be a balance, but it was a point of contention. Like I didn't want to go. Yes, I want to go, maybe not for every single one, but that
Mhm.
became a little bit of a challenge of trying to explain that. Because then it was taken, oh, well, you don't want to go. Well, no, that's not that, but have a little, understanding. I'm tired, you know?
Yep. Well, and that's the thing too, right? Like couples have there's folks have different ideas about what it means to show up for each other, right? And that has to be talked about, right? Like, yes, I want to go with you. I just sometimes need a break, right? And it's really important for folks to be able to hear each other around those sorts of things. Like, is it okay for you to go see your family without me once in a while, right?
Mhm.
Like, is that okay, right? For a lot of folks, that's okay. There's nothing wrong with it. Doesn't mean that there's anything wrong with the relationship. It's just that maybe I need a break. And sometimes on the flip side, one partner might want to be like, I just want to be with my parents by myself, right? Like I just want to just have that closeness without any other distractions. And that's also okay, right? But I think folks get really scared about making decisions like that. It must mean something about the relationship. We have to do every single thing together.
Yeah.
It's like, no, right? Like, do you feel trust in your relationship? Do you feel secure in your relationship? If you do, then it should be okay, right? Like, but the point is talk about it.
Talk about it.
Mhm.
And sadly, in my situation, I have never, take away my man card, but I have never sat on the couch and watched sports and that's it all day. When I wasn't going to the family function, I was mowing the lawn, painting the shed, doing all that kind of getting that stuff out of the way because it's a weekend to get it done. Um, One thing to remember though, it is your partner's family. Blood is
Mhm.
always going to be thicker.
I
That's just the
mean,
way it's going to
damn it.
be.
Yeah. Even if you like have maybe some conflict with your own family, when somebody else speaking poorly about your own family, I mean
Yeah.
that brings up so much stuff for people, right? And so it's kind of like an unspoken rule, like just don't do it,
Yeah.
right? Just be respectful. You wouldn't want your partner to speak that way about your family, right? Like thinking about you might hate the sister-in-law, the brother-in-law, the sister, whatever. You might hate somebody in that family. That doesn't mean your partner wants to hear that.
Right.
Right. Like that still puts them in the middle position. It makes them feel like they have to choose sides, which is not good for anyone because then that's going to push your partner away either from their family or from you.
100%.
Hmm.
So let's assume you're in a situation where there was some discussion about family dynamics over a holiday,
Hmm.
and now time has gone on. Now it's been a month. Intimacy hasn't happened. You feel that negative energy floating around. Um, what do you do at that point? How do you re-engage and reset, restart, whatever you want to call it?
Yeah. Well, you're not going to be able to restart unless you can actually talk about the elephant in the room, right? Like if somebody's been holding on to something, you have to talk about it. Otherwise, it's just going to sit there and be in the way. It's going to make you more resentful. You're going to get angrier. You're not going to want to engage sexually, and your partner might be really confused if they have no idea why you're mad, right? Like, and so that's how things start to build. And that is how you start creating more space between the two of you. Because now you're thinking about what happened over Thanksgiving. By the time Christmas and New Year's rolls around, right now there's all these other things in the middle, right? Like there's other things that are going to get activated because you're already mad about what happened a month ago. So you have to talk about these things before you even try to initiate sex, because somebody's going to be angry and it could blow up, right? Like somebody approaches the other person, I'm trying to kiss you, I'm trying to hold you, and you receive like a cold response. That can be really painful.
Ooh, and there it's almost like, going back around to the beginning again, because you had the riff with the family situation. A month went by, you just want to feel close again, and then you
Mhm.
get shut down. Now it's just like, right,
Yeah.
it's the worst.
It is the worst because it's like, especially if you don't know what's going on, right? It can feel like a shock. And then you're going to be angry because your partner didn't talk to you until that moment,
Yes,
right? So
yes,
now you're both angry for different reasons.
100%.
Mhm.
What else can you share dealing with the family dynamics over the holidays?
I think like we were saying earlier, right? Like there's some ground rules. There are just some things, that maybe are better to not say in front of the family, right? Like if you're going to a holiday party and you have folks that have different political views, different religious views, right? Do you really want to have that conversation at this particular dinner, right? I don't know if that's a great idea, right? If you are not prepared to hear something that's different or prepared to hear something that you're not going to like necessarily, right? I often wonder that why folks do that. Sometimes I feel like they enjoy getting a rise of the other out of the other person, right? Like it's kind of like a fun sport during the holidays.
Mhm.
Which not necessary, right? Like those are not the conversations you need to be having. You can go home and complain to your partner about that conversation, right? Like you don't need to do it with the family. You want to keep the peace as best as possible. Certainly, you don't want to deal with folks who are rude, right? Like those are boundaries that you can establish, right? If somebody's being disrespectful in some way, that's a different thing, right? But certainly certain conversations, maybe let's avoid having those, right? Our family doesn't need to know about our issues in our relationship, right? That can also stay home, right? Like not everybody needs to be aware of what happens in your bedroom.
And you always have a choice, no matter
Yeah,
what.
yeah,
Uncle Vinny has, four glasses of wine, and here we go again talking politics. You have a choice. You don't have to engage. And
exactly.
when they're trying to push their opinion on you, you can simply say, "It's an interesting point you bring up. Let me think about that. I'm going to go get some stuffing. Be right back," and then walk out.
Perfect. Great response, right? Like, because you're not being rude.
No,
You're acknowledging them,
they're
right?
heard.
I hear you. Great. I'm gonna step. That is a perfect way to respond to folks, especially when they're saying things that you're really uncomfortable with.
Yeah, it's not going to get you anywhere to engage. So you might as well disengage and move on, because things can go bad there if
Exactly.
you have a difference of opinion.
Yeah.
Um, when time has gone on, let's say it's been a few months,
Hmm.
intimacy is just not even a question at this time. Where do we go with that? Now, I
Yeah.
said the elephant in the room. I got that, but that happened. Now it's I don't know. It's February. It's
But we're
March, and
still not okay. Well, the thing is, right, like hopefully you've been talking about this, right? It's okay that that a conversation takes more than once, right? Like to have, right? That's
yeah.
understandable. But if something is still missing, right? If I'm still feeling unheard or disconnected, you guys have to talk about what do you need to feel safe again? What do you need to feel connected again? Right? Like, hey, maybe we need to go on a date, just the two of us, just to talk about anything, right? That's separate from all the chaos, it's separate from all the troubles, right? Can we just go on a date? Or, maybe tonight we're just going to sit next to each other and watch a show together, right? Like it's okay to take smaller steps
Mm.
to build that comfort again, because when you are that far apart, it can feel cold, it can feel scary to get close again. So it's okay to start with small steps, right? Whether it means like, hey, can we just hug? It's nice to see you today coming home from work. Let me give you a hug. Can we watch our favorite show together and sit close to each other? Right? Can you hold my hand? So it's okay to start slow. And depending on, what's going on, you can also see a sex therapist, right? Like that's also an option always, right? Reaching out to someone like, I just don't know how to talk about what I need. I don't know what I need. So maybe somebody else can help us.
Well, I love 100%. And your other half doesn't need to know that you're talking with a sex therapist, right?
I would encourage transparency. So I would actually encourage um having the conversation together. Hey, I'm thinking about seeing a therapist for this reason. Or, hey, we should go see a therapist, right? Because I think it's helpful. Like if you don't know what you want or what you need, it's really important for the two of you to talk together about that. Understand what's getting in the way so that
Mm.
you can understand your partner, right? What are your blocks? What's happening for you? What makes it feel scary to connect to you again, right? Like the partner needs to hear that and then be able to understand each other so that there's a space of like, oh my gosh, I didn't know this is how you felt, right? Like you want to hear the validation so that the two of you can create a space that feels more connected.
Taking it slow, I think, is the best because you don't want to get rejected either.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Mm-hmm.
if you go there, time has gone on. So, the baby steps first. So, because you got to think of it, you're reconnecting. You're reconnecting, and they need to slowly see that.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe that would even just say, hey, you want to watch, want to watch Tulsa tonight? Haven't seen it in a couple of weeks. Let's sit down. We always used to do that. There's been a bunch of episodes we haven't seen in a while. So why don't we, go to Shake Shack and
Yeah.
whatever it is for you. And even with that, you start to feel potentially reconnected. Maybe you can circle back. I'm really sorry, you know, last month how that
Yes.
went sour in that conversation. I got triggered talking to Uncle Vinny. Not the way I
Mm-hmm.
wanted it to go. Let's just move on from that. Not going to happen again, though. I understand it. And
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Like, and hopefully the partner can see that as an attempt, right? Like it's really important to notice when your partner attempts those connections, right? Because that's a big step. There is a risk of rejection, right? And so when you're saying like, let's go watch our show that we haven't watched in a long time, right? Let's go get our Shake Shack, those sorts of things. That is an attempt, right? Like you're basically reaching out for your partner and asking them to join you,
yeah,
right? So it's really important for that partner to see that and try to receive it, right? Like, because then you can put your defenses down a little bit. My partner's trying, maybe I should try too, right? Super important. I
mm,
think sometimes folks get a little stuck in wanting things to go so fast, right? Like we talked about it. Now let's jump back in. Let's have sex tomorrow. And like that creates a lot of pressure and anxiety and fear when you're not there yet, right? Like having a good conversation doesn't mean everything is resolved.
well, and I think it's different for men and women too, where a lot of men kind of put things behind them and, let's go back to the way we were, whereby a woman's usually not going to feel that way. They
Mm-hmm,
want to feel
mm-hmm,
safe in the situation. Even you could
mm-hmm.
be married for years. Then Uncle Vinny situation, her Uncle Vinny situation came up with the man in the relationship. And now she doesn't really feel that safe anymore. Like, I didn't see that side of you come out. So we need to kind of work on that before we can work on the intimacy thing. But I know
Yep.
a lot of men don't see that. It's kind of, that's just the way it is. Like a lot, we just move it aside. Yeah, let's move forward. Let's move forward. Plus, men are wired to be fixers. So I need to fix this
Yes.
now. I need, whatever it is,
Yes.
got to get fixed and then we can move forward. Doesn't easily work that way with men.
A question that I love for men to ask their partner when something like that happens, when the partner has something to say, let's say the female partner has something to say. I love it for men to be able to say something like, okay, would you like me to help right now, or do you just want me to listen right now? Right? Because men tend to jump to this fixing position, right? Versus, what's going to be more helpful for you in this moment? You just want me to hold space for you, right? Sometimes you just want to be heard, right? And that might be enough. That means I don't need you to go and fix it, right?
Yep.
Just hear me out. Um, but yeah, like that certainly can get in the way in terms of how you are expressing what you need, right? Like if the man wants to fix it and it's not fixed, that can probably be really anxiety provoking, right? Where the woman might just need a little bit more time with the connection piece before they're able to have sex again or even kiss again sometimes.
It's not even, it might not even be quote unquote fixable. It just
Yeah.
needs to be understood.
Exactly.
Again, the wife may be thinking, or the partner might be thinking, well, that was Thanksgiving. Look what happened then. A month later, we have Christmas. Now, she's not feeling comfortable and safe. A shot or two, and now she's worried. So and what do we all want to feel? We all want to feel safe, especially a woman in a relationship. I want to share something with you that I just read today, and
Okay.
it's, I'm pivoting in a different direction here, but I found it
Okay.
very interesting. The kiss on the forehead can
Okay.
send such a signal. This is what I read. Just one kiss on the forehead can make the other person, especially a woman, feel closer, connected, comfortable. I don't know. Your thoughts?
What comes up for me is this idea around showing affection without the expectation of sex. So, a kiss on the forehead typically would not feel like a sexual invitation, right? It's
Hmm.
more of a comforting thing, usually, right? Like you're showing some sort of like endearment towards your partner, right? Which that can feel way more gentle. It just lets your partner know, I care about you. I just want to touch you and I'm close. I
Mm,
think where it can throw people off is if you need comfort in some way but sex is attached to it, right? Then it's not just about the comfort. It's not just about being there. I think
yeah.
my assumption would be that that's what the article was
Yeah.
about and like
I,
the like
I agree with you. And it's more of a back to safety. It's more of a, kiss on the forehead. I got you. I care about you. If I kiss you on the lips, obviously my hand's going,
yep.
whatever, or
Hmm.
could. And,
Uh-huh.
maybe we don't need that at that very moment. Maybe
Hmm.
that can follow. Whatever happens, happens. Um,
Yeah.
but just kind of, I just thought it was interesting. And I see positivity in the kiss on the forehead.
Any sort of touch or kiss that is meant to just be caring, right,
Mm,
versus sexual can do wonders for a relationship. It actually helps with creating more security, more emotional intimacy, because it feels like you're just here for me. You're
yep.
not just here for the sex, right? So any sort of thing, even when you come home from work, you're tired and you just do a hug that maybe lingers a little bit more, but there's no, hand traveling down,
Yep.
or anything like that, that can create a lot of closeness, actually.
1 billion%. Even just listening, undivided
Uh-huh.
attention, the 60 seconds, not on your
Yep.
phone, not looking over there, not looking over there, not looking at the dishes in the sink,
Yep.
letting somebody be heard can be an aphrodisiac, I would imagine.
For sure. And then you add in looking at each other like directly in the face. Woo,
Mhm.
right?
Yep.
Like
Yep.
when people actually look in each other's eyes and are present, it is so, especially I think like this is gonna make me sound like from a different generation in this day and age with all of the technology and whatnot, like it's so distracting, right? And so you lose touch of what's important in terms of connecting with your partner. It's so easy to be on your phone and just versus actually stopping, looking, responding, and actually active listening.
I've even put that into the eye to eye challenge. So many couples, even together for for many years. When was the last time you actually looked at each other well, we were together. Yeah, you're in the car driving. You're not looking at each other. But this is where you come in. If somebody's
Mhm.
got challenges, just different ideas of how they could reconnect again with their partner. What's the best way to find you, Sarah?
Sure. So we have our website, which is centerrw.com. Our email is info@centerrw.com. And our phone number is 224-294-1001.
Thank you for all the insight. And I'm going to say, most importantly, thank you for making this not feel like therapy.
Oh, great. I'm glad it feels that way.
No, seriously, seriously, it doesn't, the way you speak, the suggestions you make, it doesn't feel like a therapeutic moment. It's like a friend trying to give you some advice. to help out in your relationship. And I really think that that's, like your secret talent. It really
Thank
is.
you. Appreciate that very much.
No, I really mean it. Thank you for being here, and then we'll catch up next time.
All right, sounds good. Thank you.
Thank you. We'll be right back.
This is the Global Podcast Network, where executives and professionals connect, share, and inspire. Stay tuned for the conversations that drive success.